Good evening and welcome to the Hugh Hatrick Show, where we are live interviewing the stars of Tier 3 and Tier 1 of the MSA Cup, which is South Africa's top sim racing drivers competing in GT7. So I'll welcome along. I'll do it in the order that I have here on the screen. First of all, Adrian will give us all a wave. To MGR Rudy. There. Now, to MGR DC Gaming, you'll have to say hello.
Hello.
Oh, there we are. And to Nutcap. There we go. And to Boss Breaker. It's good to see you all. Now, all of you are from Tier 3, except Nutcap, who is Tier 1. But it's great to have you all with us after another fascinating race. That's the sixth round that you've done, and you were racing at Dragon Trail in the Nissan GTR, the Group 3 car, and you had a fantastic race. Now, Boss Breaker won the race. He was first with a time of 51.38, which is very good time there. And we've also got VRA D77 because that's Adrian's PSN. And we've got Ken Dog, who's in third place, but we've also got Rudy, who is fourth in there too. So we've got many of the stars there. And we've got actually DC Gaming 92 as well, who was fifth. So we've got many of the top drivers who finished there in the top five of the MSA Cup. So I'll come to you as you were the winner there, Boss Breaker. First of all, hey, describe to us the race that you had there on Monday.
Firstly, thank you for inviting me. No, the race was absolutely phenomenal. It was good fun, a good test. I think it's a very difficult track with an extremely fun car to drive. So definitely hats off to the gentleman that organized it. The race was really good. Qualified third, went to fifth in the first sort of a corner. Took it quite easy. I know it would be quite tight through some of the chicanes, and obviously we had the dash chicane that also took some culprits through on lap two that pushed me into second place. And yeah, from there I was just trying to manage some fuel load and trying to look after the tires. I was trying to push for a one stopper, so that was sort of my idea. But we had Adrian sitting on my butt quite hectically, so I was trying to not push too hard, but also push still as best as I could. And yeah, eventually, to my surprise, I saw Adrian pit on the 26th lap for a second stopper, which I believe was a slight mistake he made, which he can explain. And then, I think Ken Dog also had a bit of a slip. He was quite far ahead throughout the race and was leading it by quite a margin. And that just gave me the opportunity to pull ahead and with a few laps remaining. And I just tried to keep it as clean as I could and finish fifth. So yeah, sometimes you win some, and sometimes some of the other guys lose it. So I'm glad that I was able to take the win on the night.
Fantastic. And so where does that put you in the championship then?
To be very honest, I haven't yet seen the outcome of it. I was, I think, around about third or fourth in the tier three session before the actual race. So need to see where that will basically put me in. But for now, yeah, enjoying tier three. Think amazing drivers that we have that really challenges each other. I'm also quite still new to GT7, I would say, to a certain
Yeah.
extent. So I more have a Formula One background, which I used to play previously.
All right.
So still learning quite a bit as I go along as well. So I think that is what I really appreciate, and it's nice to see the guys obviously doing quite a lot of practice sessions throughout the week. It's good to just sort of catch up, meet new people, and yeah, obviously learn as we go as well.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. And now on a show like this, you get to see them. You get to see what they look like, and you get and you get to see all the reactions of how it all works, isn't it? It's great. Right, I'll quickly come to you, Adrian, because you finished second in this in the race. How did your race go?
Well, my qualify wasn't that good. I started in 10th. So I managed to make up a little bit of positions within a couple of laps. I think it's lap two. End of lap two, I was in third place. But yeah, and then I was just trying to do a fuel saving, stay behind Mr. Boss. And yeah, then I made a little bit of a mistake in the pits. I was on a one stopper with medium to hard, and then I put an extra set of mediums on. So after that, in short fuel, so I tried to jump him in the pits, which I managed to, and then tried to pull a little bit of a gap. And then I had to do another pit stop to go to the Hearts, which was compulsory for the race. And and I ended up third. But with the VR headset, you don't have that interval times between your drivers, so you don't know where you're going to end up. And then I saw I'm catching one of the drivers I thought was maybe a back marker. And when I caught up to him, I said, Kendok in second place. So I battled him for the last 2 laps. Managed to take the second place. I'll take it any day. If you told me that in the beginning of the race, I would have taken it with both hands.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that's great. And to you, MGR Rudy, how was your race?
It was a good race. Didn't have the best qualifying, so I started in the mid back. But then I had to try to come back. I was all the way down in 9th at one stage, and with the one stop, I was able to get up to 4th. A lot of battles with the other Puma guys now with Puma Nutcap in the thing, but some great racing with them. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And to you, MGR DC Gaming, how was your race?
It was a good race for me in the beginning. I managed to qualify second, with Kendog being in first. And I think he had a bit of a slow start there because I jumped him into turn 1. And then a few corners later, he got me back with a bit of a dive bomb. And then after that, I went into a bit of a fuel saving mode. And I think it was Boss that passed me on, I think, the second or third lap. And after that, we were just following each other for quite a bit. Then on the 6th lap, I nicked the barrier, which put me onto the 2-stop, which I wasn't planning for. But then it was a bit of a quiet race. Managed to fight back to 5th overall then towards the end.
Yeah, it seems like there's lots of things happening. I mean, I think when the team, the organisers, put together these combinations, they have chosen the most challenging combinations. Isn't it that none of the tracks are easy? They've all got a lot of difficulties. We were saying this in the pre-show, that Dragon Trail is extremely difficult. There's lots of every part of the track has very challenging corners that you have to be able to kind of connect. Otherwise, it completely ruins your lap. But now to Nutcap, who sadly wasn't able to take part because you're on holiday there. What was your view? Did you watch the race on Monday night? You'd have probably watched the Tier 1 race live.
Yeah, I watched the Tier 1 race. It was very intense. I'm pretty sad I couldn't obviously compete. I love the track. It's very unforgiving, and there's some really cool corners like the Death Chicane. But yeah, the guys raced really well. I was pretty impressed to see their pace.
Yeah. Do you think, what would you say to the guys there who are in the Tier 3? What do you think the key to getting into the higher tiers? Because they'll be pouncing in the air behind you, trying to think out, okay, that guy's in Tier 1. What can we learn from him? What little secrets can you give away tonight to them?
What helped me quite a lot, because I don't know if you know this, but I used to be in Tier 3 for 500 championship, and that was before I joined the team. So obviously, once you join the team, you practice every single night, basically. So for me, what helped a lot was just practice. The more you practice, the faster you get. Simple as that.
Yeah, because it is good when they do the full length races, and you kind of try the different kind of tire strategies, fuel strategies, and see how it all works. I didn't realize that most of you are on WhatsApp as well, and you have your WhatsApp groups, so you can discuss with each other how it all, what strategy to do. So no, you put in a huge amount of work to see how it all goes. Now I will go to Boss Breaker, back to Boss Breaker, because Sean, who was one of the first people, he was there in the comments before the show even started. He wants to know, how did you get that name? How did it all start?
Not really as fun as a story as I think everyone would want it to be. The actual translation of it is a bull bar. It's the Afrikaans translation of it. So, and it was just more obviously racing being quite intense. You need to get your elbows out sometimes, and I just decided to sort of go with that name. My wife actually wanted me to go with Glitter Butt, which I actually liked, but then some of my friends, Boris, who also races on the group, said that he refuses to drive with me if I go on with that name. So I decided to go with Bosbreker. And yeah, the name sort of stuck. It's quite simple, but some of the guys says it sounds quite intimidating. Not supposed to be, but just how the name came up.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And did you find that the championship? I'll go to Rudy for this question. Now that you're a good bit of the way through the championship, has it added quite a lot of excitement to your to your gameplay? Are you enjoying the series?
Yeah, it's some very close racing at this moment. I was hoping for tier 2. Normally I'm tier 2 with all the races, but just one bad race and it brings the points down. But I have to say the guys in tier 3 surprised me with the pace and really enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, certainly from the tier 1 races, we've had some epic battles, incredibly close racing, and I know that's been the same right the way through. It's just those little things, isn't it, that can make or break a race. Do you find that your consistency has gotten better the more that you've raced? I'll continue on with Rudy there.
Definitely, yes. Like Nutcap said earlier, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So as consistency is king, actually.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And how did you deal? I'll go to MGR DC Gaming for this one. How did you deal with that death chicane, the infamous death chicane? Were you kind of driving 9/10 or were you 10/10 all the way through?
With the chicane, a lot of the times I could take it flat out there, and then there was just one lap where I just took it flat out, and I just took the turn in just a bit too quickly, and then just nicked the exit of that chicane. So you can take that chicane flat out. It's just you have to be very consistent and just hoping that you don't nick the chicane.
Yes, yeah, that's it, isn't it? That, and I'll go to you, Adrian, for this one. What's your? 'Cause I know you were talking earlier about the death chicane, and you were saying that you never had any incidents throughout the race. Do you think it was? Well, what was the key to that?
Well, over the last couple of months, after I spoke to Robert, I think about 2 months ago, I started working on my racecraft to make sure that I look after myself and I look after the fellow players, not to make any sudden mistakes or sudden moves. See how it goes, and yeah, and then consistency. Just the little bit of practice to make sure you make the turn the right time. That worked for me so far, and yeah, I'm just going to work on it. I just don't have the time to do all the practice that some of the guys doing. So whatever practice I can get in, I'll do, and then let's see how the future holds.
Yeah, yeah, that's it, isn't it? That what I was going to say, the combination for this Monday. Are you all looking forward to that? I'll go to Puma Nutcap.
Well, obviously, I'm not at my rig, so I haven't practiced this week yet, but it looks like it's going to be in the rain, which is going to be very interesting. The track, Autopolis, is not my favorite track, but in the rain could be very interesting. I love the car, the Nissan GTR. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. We'll just see what happens.
What do you think the strategy will be like? Because if it's a wet race, intermediates or full wets, what do you think will work with that?
I'm honestly not sure. I haven't practiced at all this weekend.
Now, we've got a quick question from Boris. He says, please ask the drivers what would be key for the race. Oh, the race coming up for next week on Monday. It will be a wet race. He's just a few seconds behind us for just asking that question. But I'll go to you, MGR Rudy.
You see, the strat is going to be hard. For us, we haven't practiced the race yet because of the other league we're racing at the moment. So tomorrow night, we're practicing for that race. And then over the weekend, we'll see the strat for the one for Monday.
Yeah, that's the thing. And how about you, Boss Breaker? What do you think of the race on Monday? What do you think is going to be the key elements to have a good result there?
I think obviously trying to keep it on the track is most important. You obviously will lose quite a bit of time, especially on the grass. It's extremely wet, slippery. So once you go off, you lose quite a significant amount of time. So I know we all try and push as quick as you can, but you can really lose a lot by going off. So trying to keep it clean, I think, is probably the most critical part. I literally just raced the track. We did a quick sort of a race just now before I actually jumped onto the interview, and it rains quite severely, so it definitely is still trying to find out what is the best sort of strategy between wets and intermediates. we will lose certain parts of the race being very, very wet, where it's better to be on the wet, and then certain parts where it dries up and where you can sort of catch up again if you're on the intermediate. So definitely can say that it will be an extremely interesting race. It sort of rains, stops, and then rains and stops again. So I believe there will be multiple strategies that can be executed. Obviously, fuel saving is quite easy in the rain, so not a lot of fuel that has to go in, and the pit stops is sort of short. So yeah, will be interesting. That is for sure. It's going to be a fun race.
It'll be when we watch it on Monday. I'll be watching the Tier 1 race, but I always remember the Formula 1 race back in 2007, where Lewis Hamilton won in Fuji, and they had the kind of mist coming over the mountain, and the rain was something else. In fact, you couldn't see when they had those on boards. He said you had to kind of listen out for the car in front, just about, because you couldn't see where they were. The rain was that bad. But I wonder if they'll be able to do that as it is Japan in Autopolis, or if the weather will be just heavy rain, or if they'll have anything else coming across to make visibility impossible. Because since GT7 launched their wet weather, it is actually quite good, isn't it? It's quite an enjoyable challenge for the wet weather. I'll go to you, Adrian. What do you think of the wet races and the wet setup?
Sorry, just broke up there. Just repeat.
What do you think of the wet weather races that are now available on GT7? Do you think they do the wet kind of setup quite well?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the wet races is quite good, fun and difficult at the same time. Normally, I do like the wetter races, but when it comes to the next race, myself and the GT, I don't, or the Nissan, I don't think we're going to manage on the wet track. It's not a car for me that I'm very happy with, but I'm comfortable but not happy. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. And of course, you can always put that traction control setting on, isn't it, just to try and help, because the Nissan GTR is a powerful car, very good top speed, but it can feel it, doesn't it? It can feel quite heavy around some of the corners here and there. That and I think, are you all doing the race on using a sim rig, or using a steering wheel and pedals, or any of you using the controller?
No, I'm on a wheel.
On the wheel. So everybody's on a wheel.
Yeah, on the wheel.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that definitely helps on a wet race and things like that for that kind of, because it's also tire wear as well, isn't it? The wheel is so much better to prolong get more out of your tires. But how do you see the championship progressing in terms of, as we get into the kind of final few races? How do you find it? Who do you think is in the best position to win?
It's hard to say, because a lot of us, like Bosbreaker is fast, Ken Dog is fast, Adrian is fast as well. So I think it's going to be a battle between all of us till the end.
I think we're a close group. I believe Ken Dog is a little bit ahead of us all. And like I said before, to get close to his times, I think that will basically put you in a position where you can battle maybe for a second or maybe a first, depends on what happens. So I think I was just behind, just in front of Ken Dog on the last standings. So we might move up a little bit. I'm not sure about
is it frozen there? I think
we lost them, yeah.
Oh, there we go. That and we now have a picture for MGR DC Gaming.
Yeah.
We can see it. There we go. That it's good information there. So it's going to be it's a very close tier. I'll go to you, Nutcap, as you're from tier 1. How do you see the championship progressing on these final 3-4 rounds?
So Leviticus has taken the lead now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Leviticus might run away from here, but we will see. Maybe Richard can get some good results. But I think from 3rd to like 8th or 9th is going to be very close. Anyone could take those positions. The whole of tier 1 just depends on what happens in the race. I think almost anyone can win.
Because Richard, when I saw the race on Monday night, VSR Richard won. wasn't it? And I think, and then Levitius just got second place very narrowly from JDG. I think who had a problem in the end, or ran out of fuel. But it was mighty close. But it's great to see other drivers win, and of course Richard has won before. So it's good to see that battle going right the way through. But I'll ask this question to Boss Breaker. How do you feel at the end of the race? Now, you've obviously just won the last race there, but as much as it is thrilling, is it quite draining at the same time? Do you feel like, my goodness, I've put in, that's been a big, almost like a workout once you finish the race?
No, I think sure. Obviously, when you have the lead, you don't want to lose it, and you definitely don't want to mess up on the last couple of laps. So again, trying to keep it clean and on the track, especially I think when it's quite tight, is always stressful. For me, luckily, I think I had a bit of a gap between myself and Ken Dog and Adrian, so I was able to sort of relax a little bit more on the last 2-3 laps. But yeah, no, definitely, obviously draining, especially that track is every corner is waiting for accidents. So you really need to pay attention for quite a lot of time. We had to do a bit of fuel saving as well. So trying to have that built into the racing strategy, making sure you're hitting your targets while still trying to push quite hard is always the fun part. We had quite a bad, I would say, tailwind, which also didn't make the chicane easy for us. So I was actually one of the ones that probably backed off quite a bit going through the chicane, just trying to not make an accident, because I just sort of knew what the consequences of that would be. So just glad all went well. And yeah, no, definitely you get better as you practice. And but yeah, it's quite intense. The groups are really, really tight, and it's enjoyable, I must say. I think it's a big improvement. And throughout the season, you can really see the skill sets of each of the individuals picking up quite a lot, and that makes it for close and fun racing.
Yeah. And how do you find, because I mean, I find that when I was doing some of the lobby races just to practice in the background, my concentration went quite quickly. After about half an hour, I was kind of making a few mistakes here and there. What would you say is a key way to help build your concentration for these kind of races? Because they are quite long. You got over 50 minutes and you know, a lot of laps. What would you say is a key way of helping to build your concentration so that you make less mistakes?
I think for me is I look at the sector time, so I try and pay quite good attention to that. I sort of set in my head what sort of lap times I want to do and know what that will be within the sectors of it. So trying to take it sector for sector, and if I do slip up one or two corners, then just let that sort of be. If you can see, you basically have a gap of, let's call it 0.6 of a second, then try and keep that for throughout the lap, so it gives you a little bit more focus for the remainder of the lap. And yeah, I would just say try and keep it clean and on the track. That is the most important part for me. When you're following, it's good to obviously see some of the guys push and you can put some pressure on them. But at the end of it, if you're on the track, that's where you gain most of the time.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, I'll quickly open the floor up to you. As we've got Nutcap here from Tier 1, is there anything that you guys would like to ask him in terms of his performance in Tier 1 or just Tier 1 in general, or any questions regarding MSA? You can put them to Nutcap just now if you like. Are you all satisfied?
Yeah.
It's all
I
good.
will ask Nutcap one. I think he started, he was in Tier 3 and he jumped to Tier 1. So how would you reckon is the actual competition between the drivers in the different leagues?
I think it's in Tier 1 you can I don't know how to say this nicely. Probably you can trust your fellow drivers more, like in terms of very close racing. We can all be pushing 10 tenths and have pretty good trust we're not going to crash into each other. Whereas in Tier 3, you got to be kind of wary. Is the guy behind me going to dive bomb? Or should I defend this even though he's 3 car lengths back? And those sort of things. So you can actually more focus on the racing and keep your side clean rather than trying to think other people's races at the same time.
Ah, good answer there. That's a good, yeah. So there is a difference, you reckon, in the kind of dynamic of the racing. I suppose it's when the lower tiers people are kind of more wanting to try a bit more, aren't they? And that's what you learn in racecraft, isn't it? That knowing when you can overtake and when to hold back, isn't it? And that's a crucial one. But no, it's good information there to have. Now I'm going to go to MGR DC Gaming 92. It's you were second on the grid, so on a track which is a very, very difficult and challenging one. What is your key to getting a good qualifying time, MGR?
For me, to try and get a good qualifying time is more just where you place yourself on the track. Because there's a lot of times where when everyone does go out to do their laps, there is points where if you're a bit too close to one another, you will end up catching the guy a lot quicker than what you anticipate, and then you'll have to back off if you're on a very good time. So what I prefer to do is like let everyone go out first, and then try to be one of the last ones out on track, and then just try keeping a very good distance to the guy ahead of me to try. Then I know don't have to worry about catching the guy ahead of me, or if the guy makes a mistake ahead, I know I'll have a clean track ahead.
Yeah. So that's it, waiting till the last minute when everyone else has gone out, and then you've got a nice clear track ahead of you.
Yeah.
So no, that's the way to go. Now I'll go to you, MGR, Rudy. In terms of people watching, there may be some drivers who aren't taking part in the MSA. What would you say to them to invite them to come into the next championship? What would be your words to invite them along?
I'd say that people racing, everyone should give it a try. At first, when I started sim racing, I was just doing it for fun, and then it got more serious, and everyone. So, to the people out there racing, just come get into the leagues, give it a try, and see. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I know that's it, isn't it? Because it is great fun. Now, I'll go on to the next question. I'll ask you, Adrian. There's going to be a special round, which means which is the surprise round, isn't it? We don't know the combination yet. The surprise car. What would you like that car and track combination to be if you could choose?
If I could choose, it will be Ferrari on Monza.
What type of Ferrari would you like?
We can make it a Grade 3.
Oh, a Group 3 Ferrari? Yep.
Yeah.
That makes a nice sound. Although I do like that 812 super fast that they recently brought in.
Yeah, no,
I do like that.
actually like the Ferrari.
Yeah,
not as loose as the Nissan we're driving now. But actually, I do enjoy the Nissan at the moment.
Yeah, I love all the Ferrari cars that they've got in there. I like the Enzo, the FXX, and what have they got else? They've also got the LaFerrari too. It's a pity that you couldn't use them, and I know obviously you got to buy them. It would be nice if you could. Well, sometimes they're only available in I think it's the hot section, isn't it? Every so often they come up, but it'd be great to have those available and for some of the leagues. I think they'd be lots of fun. Whenever I see a Ferrari come out, I always try and buy it, or a new Porsche. I think GD7 does them extremely well. Now we've got a question from Don Laquera. Please ask DC Gaming who is his racing stroke practice mentor, and who do they look up to?
Well, at the moment, for the old Gran Turismo thing, one of the people that's helped me tremendously in getting faster and trying to keep consistent is MGR Kennels in our team at the moment. We've been friends for, I think, longer than GT7, or since GT7's been out, and he's been the one that's been helping me get faster and faster every time. And there was a point where I was still on the controller, and me and him were quite fast together in a different league. We were up there in Pool 1 a lot. But then ever since I got the wheel, it's pushed me down quite a bit in my times. But he's been there helping me quite a lot with getting up back to pace, trying to get fast again.
Yeah.
So at the moment, he's been the one that's been helping tremendously.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And it's funny how you think going from a controller straight onto a wheel, and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to be fast straight away. Because the natural thing is you think, oh, it's more normal. It's more you're used to a wheel, used to it from a car. But with all the different settings, it can be the opposite, isn't it? It can be quite a challenge.
Massive difference, because I've since switching from a wheel in the beginning, I was when I went from the controller to the wheel, I was about 2 seconds slower than my normal times on a controller. But since then, up to now, I'm matching the times on the controller. So now it's just up from there.
That's pretty good going. And Don Laquera doesn't like your answer. He was looking for some ego massaging there. He wanted you to say that it should have been him that was your mentor and practice kind of practice coach there. But that'll be next time, Don. I'm sure you'll have that for the next time. But no, it's great to see it all coming about and the improvements, and that's the way you all race, because they're enthralling races to watch, which is fantastic. That and to Boss Breaker, what would you like to say to the community as you just won there on Monday? What would be your words to the community and to your tier, as to see, do you think you'll be able to win again? Are they going to be chasing you as much as they can? What would your words of encouragement be to them?
Knowing the track, I think it's going to be quite intense on Monday. To be very honest, it's going to be a very fun race. So it's been an absolute pleasure driving in Tier 3. I think we all, like I mentioned, has upskilled quite a lot since the beginning of the season. So just really looking forward to compete with the guys. It's really fun. It's good to see. And really enjoying the actual challenges that each of the tracks and the cars bring, and the guys have been keeping it quite clean. And I think if you look at the overall stats between the different tiers, the top 2 or 3 guys of Tier 3 normally ends up quite high up the total time. So no, amazing, really good, and just looking forward to continue with that and continue to build within the SMA group.
Yeah. Fantastic. And to Nutcap, what would you say to all the Tier 3 drivers here as a word of advice for the rest of their championship?
If you keep it on the road and keep it clean, you'll do really well. I think all of you guys on Tier 3, because I raced you guys recently, have the pace. No one seems to be really dirty at all. Yeah, I had some really good racing with you guys, and I hope you guys do well, and good luck.
And there we go. And to Adrian, I was going to say the organisers have done a fantastic job ongoing with the way the races are managed and put out there and commentated on with Sean and McNulty and the others who are now that team. And what would you say to them and to the organisers of MSA now that we're over halfway through the championship? But they're doing a fantastic job, aren't they?
No, definitely, and I must compliment or send my compliments to you guys as doing commentary. Watching the Tier 1 race with you guys, comment on that. It's excellent. I enjoy it. Keep up the good work, and let's keep building on SMA and or MSA, and let's take this to heights.
Yeah, I certainly think that there's a good chances for all of you to go up that next tier and get into Tier 2, and then who knows what can happen from there. But it's great to have all of your comments there. Is there anything you would like to ask me, or any other questions you would like to ask each other before we bring the show to a close?
I'm all good.
All good. No problem at all.
I think you from my side, I would love to know how you got involved into MSA.
Well, it came about with Sean because he knew me from some other championships from a chap called Raven, who does commentary and organises a lot of commentary for different leagues. And so I got in touch with Sean, and he said he was looking for a co-commentator, and that was for SMA. So I came along for that and did all 10 races for that. And it was great fun. And I sort of thought, my goodness, so much work goes into this. It was like it was so professional, and it was a big jump because I'd really just done amateur kind of leagues beforehand, where I'd had to do the whole thing, commentate and everything. So to be a co-commentator was a completely different role, but I really enjoyed it, and that went really well. And then Sean said we need a co-commentator for the first few rounds of MSA. So I said, happily help me out. And that's where we've gotten to so far. And then becoming a good friend of all of you guys in SMA and MSA and doing the interviews. It's been really exciting for me and really encouraging because it's great to see fellow racers who love GT7 and make the most of it. And I think that the league races are great because you can really have a good battle. They're far more exciting to watch, and you don't get really the dirty driving as you do, like in, for example, GT7 daily races. Especially if you're like me in a B and S rating, it's kind of you can lose an awful lot in any race that you compete in. But you guys are making an exemplary example of how to race, which is really good for anyone out there who hasn't taken part yet and who wants to take part. It's a really good example to follow. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Now Boris has quickly asked. He says, ask the drivers who are their biggest rivals in Pool 3. Who would like to answer that one?
Ken Dog.
I think
Yeah, let's say
everyone will say
Ken
Ken Dog.
Kendall. We needed Kendall here. Kendall could have answered that one.
Well, with
But,
Breaker's pace at the moment, I think it'll be Ken Dog and Breaker.
yeah.
Ken Dog is doing really, really well at the moment, leading by example. So I think we all have our work cut out for us over the next few races to try and keep up with him.
No, no, for
Fantastic.
sure.
But no, that's really good though, because it seems that it's very, very close. I mean, from looking at the results there, there really wasn't much in it in terms of, you know, very close best lap times and you know, consistency in the races. So it's fantastic, and I'm sure Nutcat, when you go back on Monday to do your races there, I'm sure we'll be waiting to see and anticipating what kind of moves and positions you'll be able to make there as well. That and just at the last minute, German Kiwi has come in to the show and he's saying, "Hello, it's good to see you, Kiwi." And now Kiwi features on many of Tidney's videos. Usually starts on pole position. A great supporter of the channel, a great guy. In fact, I'm sure he would love to take part in some of these races that you've been doing there, because it really is the top of the game. When you look at the Levitius and the Tier 1 chaps, they're A+ drivers, and many I know of you guys are also in those rankings as well. So it's great to see you all improve your skills and give us an enthralling race, really, Monday night after Monday night. So I sincerely hope and wish you all the best for the rest of the season. But no doubt we'll be having you on the show as the championship closes to celebrate the winners and also those who took part to see what your thoughts will be. But thank you very much, though, for coming along tonight. In fact, Kiwi has just said you'd probably kill him in a race, but I doubt that. I'm sure he'd give you a good fight. He's a great driver, and of course, you're going to be competing against some other nationalities as well in some of the races that MSA and SMA have got organised for you. I think later in the year, you must be looking forward to that. I think is it the Netherlands? Is it? Now I'm trying to think the country that you're going to do a big event with.
Finland.
Finland.
Finland, yeah.
Yeah. That's I've just insulted all those from Netherlands, but there we go. That'll be a great event, and I'm sure that's you'll be doing your best for your country there, as SMA is the best of the South African sim racing talent on GT7, and it's a pleasure to be able to interview you. So take care, everyone. As our motto goes on this show, we always say, drive fast, don't crash. But we'll see you all again very soon. And well done. Congratulations on your results so far, and all the best for the rest of the season. And I'll see you very soon.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Keep up the good
Cheers,
work.
everyone.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Will do. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.